So boys, welcome to the year one recap of all the season-ending stats, award winners, and the Super Bowl playoff results for year one of the Redskins franchise mode. So, starting off with the 2018 season final stats, Eagles led the NFC with a 12-4 record. Then the Rams are 12-4, Falcons 10-11-5, Cowboys are 10-5-1, and just to note, we got one loss against them, or we won one game against them and tied with them. Then the Saints were 10-6, Packers 9-7, and that was the last playoff team in the NFC. And then the teams that missed the playoffs were the Giants, which are 9-7, the Seahawks 9-7, 8-8 Lions, 7-9 Bears, 7-9 Cardinals, 6-10 49ers, 5-11. 5-10-1 Redskins, and 5-11 Bucks, 4-12 Vikings of all teams, and 4-12 Panthers. Then kicking it to the AFC, we had the Patriots leading the league there, a 13-3 record. Then you have the Jags 12-4, Chargers are 9-7, Steelers 9-7, Ravens 9-7, and Browns 8-7-1 en route to a playoff appearance. The Browns just make the playoffs. The teams that missed the playoffs were the Jets, which were 7-7-2, 8-8 Broncos, 8-8 Chiefs, 8-8 Raiders, 7-8-1 Dolphins, 7-9 Texans, 6-10 Titans, 5-11 Bengals, 5-11 Bills, and 4-12 Colts. So that's where the records for the NFL, AFC, and NFC there for the season. Then kicking it to our 2018 season final player stats, Alex Smith, 3,911 yards passing, 20 touchdown passes, 18 interceptions, for a 63 completion percentage on the season, and an 86 quarterback rating. Then our backup Kevin Hogan, 154 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, for a 42% completion percentage, and a 123.2 quarterback rating. Then rushing-wise, our wonder boy Darius Geis at 930 yards rushing on the season, almost 1,000, for 3.5 yards per carry average, and 8 touchdowns, and a 58.1 average per game. Then Robert Kelly at 128 on the season, 2.8 average, 2 touchdowns, and 14.2 average per game. Then Jeremy Hill at 94 yards on the ground, 3.8 average, 0 touchdowns, and a 18.8 per game average. Alex Smith at 43 on the ground, 2.5 average, 2 touchdowns, and 2.7 per game average. And then Keith Marshall had 12 on the ground, and then Kevin Hogan at 11, and Jordan Reed had 7 on 1 carry. Then receiving yards wise, our only notable player on the season, I'd say, was Jordan Reed, who had 960 yards receiving on the season on 74 receptions, almost 1,000 yards on that. And he was our only Pro Bowler this season, just to note that right now. But he had a 13 average, 6 touchdowns, and 78 yards as long as pass. Then Jamison Crowder, 820 yards on the season, 60 receptions, 4 touchdowns. Then Paul Richardson had 48 receptions for 740 yards, 3 touchdowns. Then Josh Doctson, 41 receptions for 429 yards and 3 touchdowns. Vernon Davis, 30 receptions for 415 and a touchdown. Darius Geis, 26 receptions for 268 and 0 touchdowns. Robert Kelly had 220 on 16 receptions for 4 touchdowns. Eli Rogers had 104 on 11 receptions for 0 touchdowns. Jeremy Sprinkle had 60 yards on 7 receptions for a touchdown. And Brian Quick had 2 receptions for 40 yards on the season. Kicking it to defense, Zach Brown, our defensive MVP, I'd say, 156 tackles on the season, 97 solo, 59 assists, 7 forced loss right there on the tackles, and 2 sacks and 2 interceptions. DJ had 101 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, and 1 interception. Orlando Scandrick, 98 tackles, 3 for a loss, 1 sack. Then we had Quinton Dunbar, 88 tackles, 1 for a loss, 0 sacks. Then Ryan Kerrigan had 79 tackles, 14 for a loss, and 7.5 sacks. Then Josh Norman had 71 tackles and a pick. Then we had Pernell McPhee at 65 tackles and 1 pick and 3.5 sacks. Monte Nicholson, 60 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Zach Vigil, 49 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, half a sack, and a pick. Then Mason Foster had 49 tackles, 3 for a loss, 1 sack. Then Matthew Ioannidis, 47 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks. And then we had Jonathan Allen, 44 tackles, 7 for a loss, 2.5 sacks. Then Dayron Payne, 30 tackles on the season, 9 for a loss, 1 sack. And Calvin Pryor, 28 tackles. Then Fabian Moreau, 21 tackles and 1 pick. Then Dustin Hopkins there at kicker, 8 for 13, 61% he is good from. and 50 is his longest on the season. Terrible year for Justin Hopkins, I'd say. It's not really looking good for him when it comes to free agency. But then punting-wise, Tress Way can do no wrong for me. 55 punts for 2,551 yards, 46.4 average. Hell of a year for Tress Way. Then we have NFL 2018 awards. So, MVP is awarded to Tom Brady there from the Patriots, but runner-up is Ezekiel Elliott. Coach of the year was Griffin Murphy, a.k.a. Bill Belichick. From the Patriots, runner-up is Sean McVay. NFC Offensive Player of the Year was Ezekiel Elliott. From the Cowboys, runner-up is Matt Ryan. NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year was Saquon Barkley from the Giants. Runner-up was our very own Darius Geis. NFC Defensive Player of the Year was Deion Jones from the Falcons. Runner-up was Sean Lee. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Roquan Smith from the Bears. Runner-up was Jair Alexander. Then Best QB was Matt Ryan. Runner-up was Carson Wentz. Best running back was Zeke. Runner-up is Devontae Freeman. Best wide receiver is Doug Baldwin. Runner-up was Mohamed Sanu Sr. Then best offensive lineman is Zach Martin. Runner-up is Brandon Brooks. Best defensive lineman was Chandler Jones. Runner-up is Mike Daniels. Best linebacker is Deion Buchanan. Runner-up is Deion Jones. Then we had best defensive back was Tavon Wilson Sr. from the Lions. Runner-up was Janoris Jenkins. Then best kicker was Matt Prater, and runner-up was Matt Bryant. Then AFC Offensive Player of the Year was Tom Brady, our MVP. Runner-up is Big Ben Roethlisberger. NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year was Josh Allen from the Bills. Runner-up is Lamar Jackson. And AFC Defensive Player of the Year was CJ Mosley. Runner-up is Khalil Mack. NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year was Tremaine Edmonds. Runner-up is Rashawn Evans. Best QB was Tom Brady. Runner-up Big Ben again. Then best running back was Le'Veon Bell. Runner-up Leonard Fournette. Best wide receiver was Julian Edelman. Runner-up D.D. Westbrook. Best offensive lineman is David Castro. Runner-up Andrew Norwell. Best defensive lineman is Khalil Mack. Runner-up J.J. Watt. Best linebacker is C.J. Mosley. Runner-up Vontaze Burfict. Then best DB was Derwin James. Runner-up was Stephon Gilmore. And best kicker was Zane Gonzalez from the Browns, and runner-up Justin Tucker. Okay, so now I can get to the 2018-19 NFL playoff results for the bracket. So, for playoff games, starting off the wild card, we have Cleveland winning 31-9 over the Chargers, Baltimore losing 24-6 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Green Bay winning 33-21 over the Dallas Cowboys, then Atlanta winning 28-21 over the New Orleans Saints. Then kicking into the divisional playoffs, we have New England winning 28-20 over the Cleveland Browns. Then we have Pittsburgh winning 31-28 over Jacksonville. Then we have Philadelphia winning 24-17 over Green Bay. And then the LA Rams winning 38-31 over the Atlanta Falcons. So the matchups were Pittsburgh and New England in the AFC Championship, and LA and Philadelphia in the NFC Championship, with Pittsburgh winning 31-24 over New England to move on to the Super Bowl, and Philadelphia winning 44-21 over the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl as well. So in Super Bowl 53, the matchup was Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. Philadelphia back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, and guess what? Back-to-back Super Bowl championships as well, as they destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-3 en route to their second Super Bowl in as many years. And judging by his performance, Carson Wentz was pretty much MVP, Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl 53. So taking a look at our schedule overall for 2018, we started off good, 30-13 W over the Arizona Cardinals away at their place. And then we lost to Indy their second week, 35-14. Then we lost to Green Bay, 35-7. And just to note, Indy went 4-12 on the season, and we lost to them early in the season, just to point that out. Then week 4 was our bye week. We came out not that strong, losing 29-26 over the Saints. Then we won a game finally, 30-7 over the Carolina Panthers. Then we tied one of the best teams in pro football in the Dallas Cowboys, 14-14. Then we lost to the Giants, 28-27, a heartbreaker right there. Then we lost to Atlanta at 29-19 there. And then we finally won a game, 29-26 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we won another game, 28-14 over the Houston Texans. And then we won against Dallas, 14-13 in a heartbreaker in Dallas, for the Cowboys at least. As we finally get a 3-game winning streak going, we're 5-5-1. And then we just pooped the rest of the season. We basically crapped the bed the rest of the season. And then we lost to the Eagles 27-3, lost to the Giants 35-25, lost to Jacksonville 17-7, lost to Tennessee 21-7, and finally lost to the Eagles again 23-16 to end off the season at a 5-10-1 record. So to note, for this 2018 season, we finished off with a 7th overall draft pick, so hopefully we draft some good talent that helps us lead toward the future of many wins and not a season like this ever again. But just to note, Jordan Reed was our only Pro Bowler of the entire season, pretty much the only light in the darkness that was the 2018 season for the Washington Redskins. So the free agency episode is coming up soon, where we go and make a huge amount of decisions on this team when it comes to backups, starters, and so on. So make sure to like and subscribe for more Redskins franchise mode. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.